Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live episode with Style to Impact for conversations that help you find your personal style, unlock your confidence, and elevate your life. Today, I'm unpacking whether or not you can build confidence through the clothes that you wear. Through the work that I do with my clients, I've realized that confidence is twofold, it's inner and outer confidence. Inner confidence, it's about how you feel about yourself, right? How do you feel about yourself in terms of your body, in terms of how you approach life, just generally about yourself. And your outer confidence has to do with what you wear and how you show up for yourself and in the world. So the question is, can the clothes you wear help you build your confidence and expand your abilities in order to match your goals? If you're watching live, say hi in the comments. If you're watching the replay, let me know that you're watching. And also go ahead and drop your question in the comments. Anything that you may want to ask during this live, definitely go ahead and do that. And I will be sure to go into the comments and answer your question. I'm Solita Roberts, founder and image coach at Style to Impact. With me today is my client turned confidant and friend, Rebekah Clough. Rebecca, Rebecca and I worked together on finding her personal style. We worked a through a 7-day period of really discovering who she is on the inside and really creating her personal the way creating her personal style to ensure that how she feels on the inside is definitely projecting on the outside as well. So
Mhm.
Rebecca, thank you very much for being here. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Salita, for having me. You're very kind and gracious to follow up with me like this. I'm
Oh,
excited to be here.
not a problem at all. I'm so honored that you agree to share this stage with me. I know that this is pushing you outside of your comfort zone.
True. That is a true statement. I don't know that I've done any lives like this.
And and I could not be more proud of you. I know when we
Oh, thanks.
talked about your personal style and some of the goals that you wanted for yourself, stepping out of your bubble, stepping out of your safety net, so to speak, was something that you wanted to do and you wanted to really put yourself out there. So I am truly, truly honored that you said yes. And I'm sure this conversation will not only be beneficial to you because this is part of your personal development growth, but also the
It's true.
audience that's listening.
It's like my own little Toastmasters class, right?
Exactly, exactly. And this is what happens when you work on your inner and your outer confidence, right? It helps you to do things that you
Mhm.
normally may not have wanted to do in the past. So we can look at this as your Toastmasters introduction. So I remember, so I was going back through my emails and kind of like looking at the first point of contact that we had when you indicated that you wanted to work on your personal style, that it's something that you've been thinking about and you're looking at making the investment in doing that. Could you share with us like what made you want to have this transformation in your personal style? What was happening? Well, why was that time necessary for you to do it?
Sure. So I work in a consortium with some other financial advisors and asset managers. And when I was hired in 4.5 years ago, I was an executive assistant. And I, when I came in, I could kind of tell that the clothing attire was a step up from what I had previously been part of. And I kind of knew that, but I didn't really know how to bump up the style and just kind of the professionalism and things like that. But I was trying. And in the last couple of years, I've been working on developing my professional roles and completing the CFP coursework, and then just recently got licensed. And so I'm looking at shifting from the executive assistant role more into financial planning and, interacting with the clients and doing meetings and just being kind of the point person for some of these clients that we have. So as I was kind of shifting, I just really thought, I also need to work on the way I'm presenting myself, because I didn't just want to be seen as kind of stuck in this administrative role. So even though like the carpet was being laid out in front of me to be able to kind of develop my skill set and things like that, I didn't feel comfortable in it. I felt a little bit like a poser, which I think maybe we all feel a little bit like posers at times, but sometimes we just sort of step into things and realize, oh, I can do this, or somebody believed that I could do this, and therefore, step into those new roles. So my big thing was to try to figure out how to present myself better in a more professional light as I'm working with clients more in the financial planning space.
First of all, I want to say congratulations. I know that was one of your goals when we spoke originally about your personal style and really what were some of the things that you wanted to achieve. So congratulations. We should all give Rebekah a big round of applause because it's so important that when we think of our personal style, it's not, I know there are a lot of women out there, we were taught that clothes is superficial, paying attention to what you wear is superficial. It's all about your abilities and all about the accolades and the degrees and everything that you have. But it has so much connection, and it drives us to really be more focused on achieving our goals. And it's what I call like matching your goals with your style. And as you said, you wanted to step out of that role of being an executive assistant. You didn't want to be seen as that person anymore, because you're now projecting, you're growing, you're getting those opportunities and the goals that you set for yourself. And then you look at yourself, it's like, okay, I'm trying. Yes, I'm not dressed too badly. I'm not dressing badly. It's just that what I'm getting is in that doing that self-evaluation and self-reflection is that, okay, I can do better, right? I can do better. And I think this is where a lot of women have to kind of like look at it that way. It's like, you may not be dressing in a way that's, really frumpy, but what are your goals? What are your big goals? And are you dressing to match those goals? So I really do appreciate you sharing that, because I think that is so insightful, doing that self-reflection. What would you say the process of doing that self-reflection was all about? How did it feel for you going through that process?
Can I just say it was hard, but it was so good. And, I have told you privately how grateful I am for the time that you've spent with me, because I really do see the reflections of that throughout all my days as I pick out my clothes, as I'm getting dressed, as I'm figuring out what to wear and things like that. So what I anticipated is that you were going to say, hey, you're petite. This is what you need to wear, period. And that was not what it was at all. It was much more self-reflection. And I really think anytime that we kind of go in and do deep work, inside work, it's kind of hard because it's easier to have eyes out or just move along rather than ask yourself some tough questions.
Yep.
So I found that it was really helpful for me. I realized that I had a lot of baggage that I didn't even know that I had until we were working together. And then how can I free myself from that? There are times that I could just, wonder if things matched or if it went together or things like that. And it has gotten better that now, like, I'm not having to. I will tell you, after we did the work together, I took pictures of a lot of the different outfits and things, and I put those into my binder here with a bunch of different outfits. And the first several days, I couldn't come up with anything. And I would have to go back into the book and say, oh, I remember feeling good in that, and things like that, and pick out things to wear based on that. And then when I looked for my book yesterday, I was like, I don't even know where I put it, because the last 6 months, I haven't needed the book, that I've just been able to recall or put new things together, and with a lot of the tips and tricks that you've taught. So I feel like my confidence has really improved just every morning when I get dressed, or in the evenings when I'm laying out my clothes for the day, because I think I told you when we started working together, like, I just feel so awkward. Like, I just don't know what to do and how to put anything together. And I still don't feel like a professional like you are or anything, but I do feel way more confident in being able to put something together. And I think my kids talk about in pictures, you can see like, pre-style and post-style work, that there's kind of a difference. And everybody's kind of noticed that, I think, as well.
Yes, that is incredible. And I remember the first time I think you said, yeah, you did send me a picture of your binder. It's like, oh, I went to, I think it was Home Depot or one of the stationery stores, and you grab yourself this binder and said, this is my style binder. It's like, oh my gosh, super proud of you. But
It was
that's
so
what it
cute.
exactly, right? And that's what it is. When we talk about that internal work for really building your confidence, it's about aligning how you feel in the inside with how you want to show up on the outside, right? And
I
it's
know.
not just about, okay, so, and I'm happy that you said that you thought that it was just going to be like, oh, maybe you're petite, wear this, wear that. But on the realizing that no, I have to go deeper. I have to uncover and really look at what is happening on the inside. Because that's the only way you can not only dress better, but you can show up for yourself. Is that really doing that? You have to be in alignment, right? It has to be aligned. If you don't feel great inside, it doesn't matter what I suggest for you to wear. It doesn't matter how many pieces you go and you purchase. It doesn't matter any of that. At the end of the day, you'll always be out of alignment.
Mhm.
And one of the things that when I looked at what you did with the planner, and you just said that it helps now, it's like, yeah, in the beginning stage, it helped having that digital lookbook to know what styles to go back to and what styles to refer to. But now you don't have to, focus that much on it. And that's something that I encourage, everyone to do. And whenever I'm working with my, I create that digital lookbook because it makes it so much easier for you to know that you're on track, to know that, this is, and remember, this is what I wore and this is how I felt in that.
Mhm.
So would you say that I know this kind of like my backup question, or I'm thinking about it, the digital lookbook, do you think it kind of like helped you to remember what your goals are and remember where you want to go?
Um, I do. So what I've done is I did a hard copy of a book, and then I've also been saving repeatedly pictures basically most every day of my clothing and putting it in a style like on my phone in an album. And it helps though to kind of look back and to kind of think. But as you said, like, how you can see a picture of a place that you were and you can immediately go back and smell the campfire or, be back in that role kind of thing. And I believe it's the same when I looked back at pictures of me in different outfits and things. I remember thinking I felt really good then.
Yeah.
And it was amazing when my daughter and I were looking back at my original thing. You had put together something that I was like, I would not have worn that together. And put it together, and it's actually this top, these two tops, and I was like, really, I don't know that they go. And once I put it on, I was like, oh my gosh, I really like that. And I felt like I had made a huge leap forward. But when I look at that picture compared to the other pictures, I'm like, oh my goodness, um, I still did not have it together. I had not pulled it together, and it's continued to improve. But I think looking back at the pictures helps me remember how I felt. And part of this process has been me working on like um, my overall health with my working out. I started, eating better and things like that. And all of that was kind of right around the same time that I felt like, okay, I feel like I can portray a new look because I feel like I'm a different person now than I was, um,
Yeah.
in the last year.
Absolutely. And I can see that, right? I can see that because first of all, you're doing a live with me. Let's not forget that you're doing a live with me. And also, I don't know if the audience had a look at your profile on LinkedIn, but I had a glimpse of your profile today on LinkedIn. And there's a photo of you with your colleagues. You're wearing shorts. Can we talk about that for a moment?
Oh, I don't know that we went to.
What first of all, I'm looking at the person that I met originally. I don't think I would have seen you in shorts.
Yeah,
Or
I
you
probably those are definitely a new addition. And when I brought them home, my husband says, "You can't return those. Those are really good. You need to keep those." And then my kids were like, "Oh my goodness, that's great, Mom."
yeah, and I think it's an incredible testament to feeling confident and comfortable in who you are now, right?
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
like you're expanding your outside of your comfort zone when it comes to your clothing, because before, and this is what I want to talk about, like what are some of the challenges that you would have been experiencing when it came to getting dressed? I know you touched on a few, not sure whether or not things can go together,
Mhm.
but let's talk a little bit more of some of the challenges that you may have been experiencing during that time when you weren't sure what your personal style was, when you weren't sure or felt confident in yourself. Because Rebekah, you're wearing shorts now, and you actually put it on social media. Like that is huge. The persons who
Yes.
know you know that that's a big step for you.
Mm, that's true. I'd say some of my challenges were I am petite, and so finding clothes that fit is a little bit of a challenge. Although, Silly, you've helped me find some better places for that. That not feeling like I had things that went together. I might like this piece or that piece, but I didn't know how to mix and blend
Yeah.
and create something out of that. Let's see. And then just kind of like when I went back into the workforce after staying home with my kids, coming back, I just didn't have any professional clothes. And I had one suit, but no shoes. And so like just trying to create something with what I had was a big challenge. And I think now I've streamlined, cleaned out my closet and just kind of really have just clothes that I really like. And I still accept donations. I have a friend who clears out her closet and gives me a ton of stuff. And I think that's like Christmas. But I'm able to pull out the pieces and to kind of think through, because one of the things you and I worked on is what, like, I thought you were going to tell me what I needed to portray, but instead what you asked me to do was, what do I want to portray? And I wanted to portray professionalism, that I know my stuff, that I'm trustworthy, all these kinds of things. But what I boiled it down to was I wanted it to be comfortable, and I wanted it to be what was my other word? Um,
I think
Professional and
yes,
comfortable. Is that
professional.
what it was?
Yes.
Professional and comfortable. And since then, I've kind of expanded because I want my leisure wear to also kind of be comfortable and polished. Polished was the big word that I wanted.
Yes.
And I didn't really know what that meant until like you were able to kind of show me some little pieces. And it's really like the final 2% that seemed to make it looked more polished. But just doing that extra little thing really made me feel better. And I think that reflects in how we interact with other people. I learned years ago to dress to the shoes, like put on real shoes so
Yeah.
that you feel like you are in work mode. You're not in slipper land and, in bed or whatever, is to be able to feel polished and comfortable.
Yeah, and that's so important, right? We have to dress for the occasion, dress for not only it's a mindset thing. If you dress too comfortable, you may not
Mhm.
produce to the best of your
Yeah,
ability, right?
for sure.
Us working from home, especially, we're thinking that, oh, I should wear my comfort clothes, my sweaters and stuff like that. But when you
Mhm.
sit down, you're telling your brain you're relaxing.
Yep.
Whereas if you dress, you can dress polish and comfortable at the same time, but kind of like elevated, right? So I'm
Mhm.
happy that you touched on that, and really what defining those three words for you meant, right?
Mhm.
Because dressing, and this is what I know, you go on the internet, you'll do some research and tell you, okay, how to put together an outfit, and you find all this information. But at the end of the day, when you're creating your personal style, it's about how you want to show up, right? It's about what you want to wear. And it's what I call dressing for you,
Mhm. And
defining
it
what.
I think for me, that was really big because I really kind of gauged my outfits and how I felt about myself based on what other people had said, whether I was complimented on that outfit or not. And I don't know if it was you, but I've heard it and it was great if it was from you. But like, it doesn't matter necessarily if they go, if you act like they go and just present yourself like, I feel good in my skin. There, other people are going, oh my gosh, I didn't know that worked, but it does because you're pulling it together because of the way you're presenting yourself. And I think that's been huge is that I've stopped asking so much for other people's opinion, but more how do I feel for myself and my own skin, and do I feel like I could do good work and be comfortable. And not, one of my goals was to be less self-conscious and just kind of, you know, so self-conscious about myself. And really my goal is to help others and to serve others. And so I'm really grateful that I've been freed up a little bit from, always thinking about what am I wearing and how do I look, to being able to really focus and help other people on their financial goals.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And that's like one of the components of or the rewards that you get from working on your personal style, right? Because
Mhm.
once you identify what it is, once you identify how you want to show up, you no longer have to worry about it. I mean, you're not even looking at your digital lookbook anymore, right?
Mhm.
Right? Because now you have it down to a science. I will call it a science, right? Because now you know you're experimenting, you're expressing yourself a little bit more, which, as you said, gives you now the ability to focus on what's more important. And this is where, when we talk about finding your style, so you don't have to then focus on that. You're
Yeah.
focusing on the work that you're doing, but at the end of the day, you are showing up looking exactly the way you want to portray yourself. You're able to connect with your audience. I mean, you're talking about finances. You're talking about helping people with their finances and having a conversation. You have to feel confident in yourself to then go and have that conversation, right? So I am so, so, so happy that you're at the place that you are right now to be able to express that and
Mhm.
to be able to share with everyone what that means.
Mhm.
So,
I
sorry.
I was just going to say, I think one of the things that was really fun for me in the process, I said it was hard too, but it was fun, is when we did the consult at the end of the 7 days, and we had to do it for Zoom because of COVID reasons. But my daughter came over, and I can see her; she's on now as well. But that we just had so much fun working with you, and once we got off the phone or got off our call with you, Morgan, my daughter, said, hey, let's try this and this. And I was like, I don't think that goes together. And she said, Salita just told us to play. And I just kind of freed myself up to just play and to just try things that I didn't think matched or went together, and to just see. And you know what? Come to find out, I did like some of those things that we did. And so, like, just trying to play and explore has been hugely freeing for me.
Yes, that is so important, right? We put so much pressure on
Mhm.
dressing, and that we have to get it down to the science because there's so many rules, and we don't want to break this, and we're not sure about it. But it's all about playing. It's all about having fun, because once you discover like what my style is, what my message is, it's about playing. It's about
Mhm.
doing that. And I know Morgan is here. I want to say hi to Morgan.
Mhm.
It was incredible just hearing the way that she supported you, and just like on the consultation, I think I think I'll recommend this to like every client that I have. Bring a very close family friend or colleague with you that can help you to step out, because I think having the support of Morgan, having the support of your daughter really did help you not only keep
100%.
focused, but kind of like relax to you a
Mhm.
little bit to say, okay, yes, let's do this. We're doing the work. It's important. This is the way I want to show up. So it's all about having fun. It's all about playing, right? And not taking it as serious when you go through that process, is not taking it as serious as, when you hear a stylist like me talking, we're like, oh, know your colors, know your body
Mhm.
type, and it's like,
Mhm.
oh no, like, no, we do the serious work, and
Mhm.
to kind of like pass it over to you to have fun with it, to play with it. So
Mhm.
before we move on, I want to ask the audience, how do you feel about your current style? Is it boosting your confidence, or is it leaving you feeling uninspired, unsure about yourself and self-conscious, right? Because if you're feeling any of those things, it may be an indicator that you should be working on your personal style. So let us know in the comments, how are you feeling about your personal style at the moment? And so I wanted to ask you, Rebekah, I know
Mhm.
that we are close to wrapping up this conversation. Do you have any, like, words of wisdom for women who are sitting on the fence thinking this is something that they don't necessarily should be focusing on right now, or maybe they'll put it off for some other time when they do have the time, so to speak? But any wise words that you want to leave with them?
Um, so we did the 7 day thing together, and we did it right. It was over Christmas, New Year's, and it
Yeah.
was a great time to do that. Beginning of the year, all that kind of stuff. I'd say it's really great to do at any time of the year, but I have no regrets. It has only been a positive experience for me. I tell people it was worth every dime I paid. It was just so helpful to me to really be able to kind of up myself from some of the head trash, like I said, that I didn't even know that I had, to free myself up from that. And, I don't know that me dressing better has helped, me continue to advance where I currently am, but I'm advancing where I currently am. And I think that if I hadn't done that, I don't know that it would have stopped me, but I think it continues to pave the road for me. And, a lot of the pictures and stuff that I took, I thought, oh, this is a great outfit before we worked together. And you said, yes, it is, but you're hiding. And I really found out that I was hiding behind my clothes. And part of that was my insecurity,
Yeah.
coming out and showing. And now I'm trying to feel more comfortable in my own skin and then let my style reflect that. I think there's maybe a question. I just saw something.
Oh
Oh,
no,
it's the
that's
Saturdays.
yeah, that is Morgan typing away in the comments. I'll be sure to get in the comments and answer the questions and
Okay.
say thank you very much whenever I once we end this conversation. But
Okay.
that's incredible, and I thank you very much for just sharing that, because there are so many women who are hiding and in the clothes that they're wearing and not realizing that they're
Hmm.
hiding, right?
Hmm.
Because I remember when we were doing that Zoom consultation, we were doing the fitting, we were doing the outfit planning, and I told you before the call, how many pieces to bring, and you brought me all black pieces, right? And it's like, no, that's not what we're doing, because that's what you were wearing before. And then you gave me a peek into your closet, and it's like, there's so many colors, right? But you were still within that transition period of showing up
Hmm.
for yourself. Even though
Sure.
you had the pieces in your closet, you still felt like you should hide
Hmm.
behind. So I
Hmm.
am, so happy that you shared that, because it's so important that women stop hiding behind not in the clothes they wear, feeling insecure about themselves because of maybe what other persons may have said in the past, or maybe not thinking that they're good enough, or not thinking that they have, style down to a science, and it's like, I'm just going to wear what I wear now. But there is a correlation between your inner confidence and your outer confidence and what you wear, because once you
Absolutely.
start feeling confident inside, you let go of those baggages, you let go of those insecurities, you start showing up as your best self, wearing things that you enjoy.
Hmm.
So I want to thank everyone for watching. Remember that the way you choose to show up it has less to do with the clothes and more about building your confidence. Because once you build your confidence, your inner and your outer confidence, you become unstoppable, and
Hmm.
you're able to not only expand and step out and do things like Rebekah is doing right now, but you're able to get opportunities that may have come your way, but you're getting them sooner. You're putting yourself on that path for achieving more. So
Hmm.
if you long to feel put together, and having your own signature style, your own personal style that gives you unshakable confidence, then I want to invite you to schedule a style consultation. That's the first step. That's where we start to decide what is it, what are some of your goals, and what are some of the challenges that you're experiencing, and of course craft a package that's to you, caters to you, and making sure that you're dressing for yourself, because that is where it starts, dressing for you and no one else. So thank you very much for joining.
Yes,
Until next time, it was such a pleasure having you, Rebekah. It's such a pleasure. I appreciate you being here. So
sure.
until next time, I will see everyone later. Bye.
Bye bye.